Okay, go. Let's make sure this is working because YouTube doesn't want to work half the damn time. Come on, YouTube. Come on, YouTube. You can do it. There we go. There we go. Okay, now it's working. Set that up. Get everything working. Okay, that sounds fine. Move this here. Let's see. Where did my windows go? Okay. Let's see. What do I have today? Oh God, there's so much. What is going on this week? I don't know. Hey, Alchemist, how you doing? Okay, I want to know what is going on this week. Did anybody notice the random massive surge in anti-black racism this week? Like there has just been story after story after story this week. As well as last week, with the Mississippi cops. Now we got another story from Mississippi because you just don't go there. It's monkeypox week. Yeah, well that's on the alphabet. But okay, what else? We had the Cincinnati cop got busted. We had a Mississippi dude who got off easy. Oh yeah, Geeks and Gamers going. I mean, that one's not surprising. Who wants to rename it because racism? Oh wait, wait. Did they say that? Did they dead ass say that? The whole monkeypox thing? Did they try to tie that to racism somehow? Because if they did, I gotta see that. I wouldn't be surprised because white liberals like to do that thing. They like to call everything racist. No, the funny thing is they'll call everything. They'll like to call like everything that has nothing to do with race racist. But then when you have like clear cut cases, then they just kind of like don't talk about those stories. Because you notice the Mississippi police chief from last week, nobody talked about that. Either side, no one talked about that. And then so far we have like the Cincinnati cop. No one talked about that. We have, what was it? Oh God, there's more than one. Oh, and of course, don't worry. I found, of course, we already have we already have the ignorance trying to defend some of the cops using the hard R. No surprise there. Oh, that's why? Oh, figures. Okay. Oh, yeah, right? Police brutality magically ended once Biden got in. Then they just don't want to talk about it anymore. Even though he's been, funding police even more. And there's been no talk of reform. But I already knew that going in with Biden. I knew he was going to do that. So wait, let me see. Which one of these should I do first? I don't know which of these I should do first. Which are the most funny? Maybe the Cincinnati cop, because not many people have talked about that one yet. And then you have also what's it called? Oh yeah, Ben versus Sesame Place, because Ben made a video where he completely lies about the Sesame Place case, like straight up lied about it. He straight up cut out like evidence. He cut out evidence and tried to pretend like evidence didn't exist. He kept saying there was no evidence of other instances of the characters being aggressive or ignoring black kids when there's like you can do a quick Google search and I counted I think four or five. Well, I'm not surprised. You know what? I'll do the Cincinnati cop. Let me move these over here. Move that over there. Okay. And let me pull it up here. Yes. Here it is. The sad part is there's so much splaining going on right now for this cop. It is fucking incredible. I'm going to show you the splaining after this, but there is already so much splaining for this cop. It is unbelievable that it's like, how are we going to cop calling a black girl the hard R? And they're trying to explain of, she was just angry. She was just upset. Oh, haven't we all been there? And I'm like, no. I don't get that. I was like, what is with you? What is with the ignorance that when they get mad, they jump to racial slurs? I don't know, but for me personally, why is it doing that? For me personally, I've gotten pretty mad at people. I don't jump to racial slurs. It's sort of like the anger excuse they're using. It sort of reminds me of the saying, what's it called? Drunk words are sober thoughts. It's sort of like that, except with anger. But bro, this is insane. I'll show you this and then the splaining afterwards. Fucking ridiculous.
Police officer in uniform. Recently released body cam footage here shows Rose Valentino using a racial slur and also admitting to it.
WCPO 9 News reporter Jake Ryle walks us through this footage.
The city manager in a statement said that the body camera footage is disturbing. Officer Rose Valentino called while on duty.
Show it to me.
PD District 3. Several cars are parked to pick up students at Western Hills University High School. Officer Valentino activated her lights and siren to get the drivers to move.
You gotta move. Ridiculous. Is she gonna just sit there?
A black teen who was leaving school raised his middle finger at Officer Valentino, which set Valentino off.
I'm sorry, this is a dude.
Oh, I hate him so much. God, I hate this world. Hate it.
Several seconds pass. Valentino then uses a racial slur under her breath.
Hate him.
Now notice when you have, I will show you again, the splainers in a minute. Yeah, the cop's a white woman. Now I'm going to show you in a minute the splainers that come out who are saying, oh, she was just angry. Her anger seems to be oddly specific. As in, if you listen to her language, it seems to be very directed, not at individuals. Because I've gotten mad driving, and I've gotten mad at individuals, and my brain doesn't jump there. I don't know why this is immediately where your brain jumps. But also, there's some interesting evidence, or she has an interesting history, because they looked into some of her other cases. At least we'll see right here.
We dug into Officer Valentino's personnel file. She's a 14-year veteran with CPD. Her performance report shows she consistently meets or exceeds standards for patrolling. She trains officers who recently graduated from the academy. Her supervisors say she's dedicated and a hardworking beat officer.
That's a bad sign when this person is teaching other officers. But okay. Just like I said last week with the Mississippi police chief. Although that was way worse.
Adding, she comes to work with a positive, motivated attitude, which is appreciated, and that she does great work. She's been reprimanded in the past for not turning on her body camera multiple times. And this is not the first time Officer Valentino has been on the city's radar for an issue involving race. In November 2018, she was one of 3 police officers involved in a lawsuit where Jerry Isham, a realtor, was showing a home to Anthony Edwards. Both are black. Court docs show she escalated the situation by aiming her gun at the 2 men and then putting them in handcuffs.
So when you compare that with what she's saying now, when she's just angry. And then we have this here where we're starting to establish a pattern of behavior. And then you keep in mind she trains other officers. So that makes this whole thing even worse. Why do ignorance do foolishness while recorded? I don't know. That's universal to all of them, of all races. I don't know why they do that. I mean, I'm okay with it. I would like to know. Like, I'm okay when cops do stuff like this and then record it, because I would like to know. Because before, when they didn't have to have body cams, this is a lot of stuff, was going on. We didn't know about it. Just ruin your career over some foolishness. I'm okay with this. She should have her career ruined. I don't think you should be in a position of authority, especially if you're operating in a black area, clearly, when you have a history like this. And you're saying things like this. I don't think you should be there.
The city settled the case for $151,000. And in March
of your taxpayer money, by the way. She didn't get any punishment. That was your tax dollars.
2020, while off duty, she pushed and punched 2 family members and used an umbrella to damage a car. She was convicted by plea of disorderly conduct and was referred to a behavioral health center for anger management. Fast forward to the April 5th incident. According to the internal report, Officer Valentino acknowledged her statements weren't appropriate and that she was surprised the racial slur came out. And
no, she wasn't. She was too comfortable saying that. I can tell when people use it a lot, they have a certain way of saying it. It's sort of like when you never use those words, they come out awkwardly. If you've ever tried out some kind of insult or something, anything like that, you're not used to saying, or you're is bad and it kind of makes you hesitate, it sounds a little weird. You kind of have this weird inflection in your voice. She didn't have that. Which tells me she's said this before. She's said things like this before, given she's had a history of anger management. That also would, lead me to believe that this is not the first time. This is just the time she got caught.
That it didn't represent who she was as an officer or how she felt about African Americans. She claimed to have been desensitized to racially offensive language by music and hearing people talk on the street.
Splaining. Bruh, when do we use the hard R? There we go again. There we go again. The splaining. They're trying to blame us. Don't you love that? She'll throw out racial slurs. She'll have a history with black people and then try to blame us by going, well, it's in your music. Where do we use the hard R? I've said this. There's so many people on the right who say this. You go, you call yourself that? Where? Where? I'm not aware of it. I'm not aware of any music that uses the hard R. It's not like Cincinnati has a lot of money. Also, these settlements will kill the finances. Oh, I know. I'm just saying, the cops fuck up. They make you pay for it. They're not the ones who get hit by it. Typically, if they get fired, they go over to another district and they get rehired. There's been a serious problem with that going on for decades. What now? People be wilding this week. The thing is, they're all in on secret, so the problem is also way bigger than the person who gets caught. Yeah, as we saw last week with Mississippi, with the police chief. And there were people who saying, this is just one bad apple we caught. And I was like, I counted 4. Because two defended him, and another guy let him do this. So I'm like, so that's 4 so far. And you better believe that there's more that he talks to like that. This lady trains other officers. And we're seeing a pattern of behavior from her. You do not think that's going to rub off on other officers? And like I said, I don't buy this bullshit because 1, that came out way too smooth to be an accident. And 2, she's trying to blame us, saying, well, you call yourself that in music. She's trying to pull that. That ain't going to fly because like I said, you send a black person down to just get a black face, right? Go find your Tatums or something, send them down there and use the hard R. See what will happen. See what the fuck's going to happen. Because I guarantee you it's not going to be much of a difference between a black person or a white person using that towards another black person. That's fucking crazy. This is just splaining, bro. It's not going to get stopped because the majority group that has the ability to cause the change doesn't want change. So it's not going to change. Like I said, like the white liberals don't care about this. They're not talking about this. I didn't see any of them bring this up. I didn't see any of them bring up Mississippi. I didn't see any of them bring up what's it called? I didn't even see them bring up Sesame Place. because they don't care. But they'll say stupid shit like milk is racist. You better believe they'll say some dumb shit like that. Cincinnati PD can't beat Baton Rouge PD in radically stupid behavior. I would need to see examples because that sounds funny.
In that report, she said her job is having a negative impact on her mental health, something she's since sought help for.
According to the city manager, the disciplinary hearing process continues. We'll have more updates when they become available. Jake Ryle, WCPS.
Why is it when it's white ignorance we can pull out mental health all the time? Why is that always a valid excuse? They accept that as a valid excuse whenever it's white ignorance doing racist shit. Lucas's videos of it. Yeah, I saw all the stuff he was covering. I was bringing up earlier. I was like, what is going on this week with the anti-black racism? For some reason, it just like blew up this week. This week and last week, there's been like a fuck ton of instances of that. I wanted to stream tomorrow, but I was like, I'm getting so backed up. I might as well do it today. Just trying to keep the energy. I had legs today. I'm fucking burnt. Yeah, they don't care when Biden's in power because they never cared. They'll just scream racist at anything. So the problem is when it actually happens, you'll have people who will fight against it because, you know, like I said, no one will take it seriously anymore. But I just love how when it's certain people, it's just we have every excuse. It was the media made me do it. It's just I'm just exposed to it. They were saying it. My mental health. I was just angry. It's just every excuse. I'm also somewhat desensitized as well. When something occurs every day, you become desensitized. Yeah, but I just noticed a spike today, or not today, but the last week, 2 weeks. Like I'm just getting story after story after story after story. Like usually they're a bit more spread out, but for some reason it just went crazy this week. I never do because it is the best day. Get your endorphins going, get that testosterone spike, get everything, get that serotonin release afterwards. But look, and we will look now. Let's go to the splainers. Let's go to the splainers. This is crazy, bro. He almost had it at one point. And then he fumbled it. Yes, but it's your fault. You complain about racism. It's your fault for ruining the mood. Oh, you saw the video that Tatum did? That the Tatum video on Sesame Place? He's like, he was always talking about how black people always got to ruin the mood or something because they got to cry racism. And you're just like, oh, dear Lord. And then you'll still see some white ignorance say he's a representation of black conservatives. And you're just like, how? Because like I said, who is he saying that to? Oh, but here we get to the splaining. Like I said, he almost had it. And then, of course, he had to fall back because he knows his audience. And the comments of this video are insane because I was like, wow, a lot of racists follow ABL. Like I said, if my rhetoric was attracting like tons of like hardcore black nationalists, I would start having questions about what I'm saying. Just like if your audience, if you were, gaining a lot of racists or white supremacists in your audience, you might start to be like, what am I saying that's resonating so much with them? They should not be resonating with me. That's the question you always have to ask. That's always, every time I look at one of these videos, anything political, I always ask, who is this for? Who is this targeted at? That's a question nobody asks, but it's really important that you ask that question because then it starts, it starts revealing some stuff. But look at this.
Let's just get to the core of the problem, shall we? out there in Cincinnati, Ohio, who is being caught using the N-word on her body-worn camera. Now,
Skip, we see that.
my opinion about the N-word in general, I don't use any kind of racial slurs, and we'll be all good. For without
one
my commentary,
cares.
the link, as always, will be.
Now at 11,
Okay,
racial
we just
slurs
saw
made by a
that part.
Cincinnati police officer in uniform recently.
Several cars are parked.
Saw that part. Saw that
Upset.
part.
So I'm not sure if it's a bad day or just a bad life. I don't know what's going on, but she's already upset.
A
There we go.
black teen
Already
who was
explaining.
leaving school raised his middle finger at Officer Valentino,
We've seen
which
this.
set
Squirrel.
Talking about black folks, obviously, it was wrong.
There we go.
Clearly, something's wrong. I hate them. Speaking about black folks, obviously, we'll get to that a little bit later. I hate this world. What world? Where it's black and white, or you just hate your life? Like, what's going on? Again, you're already upset. You're already triggered from the very beginning. So that little gesture right there, just sent her over the edge of where she already was. She's already on the edge. That sent her pretty much over the edge.
Yeah, but if once you're over the edge, if that's where your brain jumps, isn't that indicative of something within your self-conscious or your subconscious? That tends to be what happens, right? That's actually a tactic you might see some people use. You know, if you're arguing with people, you could tell, I think this guy has some prejudices. One of the things you can do is you rile them up on purpose, right? You troll them, rile them up, get them angry. Because once they get angry enough, they slip up and then they say how they really feel. I've seen this tactic. It's actually really funny when people pull it off. Black nationalism reaction, though, it's people sick of dealing with it. No, I feel you. I'm just saying that's not the route I want to go down. So I said, like the extremist route. I'm talking like the Israelite route, like the extremist Israelite route that are calling for like genocides. I was like, I don't want that. If you watch ABL, you ain't black. Rex Chapman, who's that? I feel like I'm being dumb. I'm missing something. I need to look that up. If you can't control your emotions, then you shouldn't be a cop. You should work at Subway. Does crazy shit go down at Subway? I don't eat Subway. Does Subway have a history of people getting angry and yelling racial slurs?
My question would be, what has you on the edge? Why are you on the edge while you're in law enforcement? What's going on in your life? Do you need a break? Do you need to go ahead and just resign? I don't know what's going on. But let's continue.
Hate it.
several seconds pass. Valentino then uses Mr. Valentino instantly
it.
meets or exceeds standard, adding for not turning 2018 show 2020.
Is that what's happening? See, that doesn't make any sense. You were off duty doing scam. Damn it. Maybe something's going on. Maybe something.
Umbrella to damage a car.
There we go.
She was convicted by plea of disorderly conduct and was referred to a behavioral health center for anger management.
Yeah, I can see anger management. I'm thinking maybe something's been going on over the past 2 or 3 years. Maybe the scam. Damn it. Maybe something's going on because you damaging the car with an umbrella. You Britney Spears when she went bald headed and went crazy. Is that what's happening? See, that doesn't make any sense. You were off duty doing this. Like, why did you do that? What was the context there? I don't know, but it sounds like you're kind of losing your marbles a little bit. And nothing against anybody that has real mental health issues, but I think something's a little bit wrong here. Okay, something's wrong. Obviously, the anger management didn't really do the job it was supposed to be doing. And as far as that lawsuit,
Well, why do we get the excuse of mental health and anger management when it's always in this direction? I don't hear it in any other direction. Why is it that they get the benefit of the doubt? It's just like Sesame's Place, right? We're going to get into that one in a second. It's just the same thing where everyone's saying it was just a mistake. It was just a mistake. Based on what context? What evidence do you have that it was a mistake? But they all keep saying mistake they just grant that benefit of the doubt. But it's always in one direction. That's the problem. Oh, it's in the overview of the tweet. Yeah, I'm not familiar with him, so I don't know. I don't know about him. No, but the Subway employees can't shoot people. Let me see. Rex Chapman said Clarence Thomas isn't black because he doesn't go watch the NBA game. Bro, what? What? Oh wow. Yeah, I'm not surprised. They're really on the same ground. White people are a majority, and previous iterations of white nationalists were pretty violent. Oh, you're on that conversation still. Yeah. I'm not saying they're exactly the same given the context, in the US's history. I'm not saying they're exactly the same. They're not the same. I'm just saying I don't like either direction.
I mean, that could be anything. That could have been racism. It could have just been they weren't cooperating. She had the wrong thing. I don't know exactly what that was.
It could have been. Okay.
But that could be anything. I don't think that's proof of her being a racist. I think
I like how if you say cracker, the right loses their goddamn mind, which isn't even a racial slur. But I do like hearing this all the time. He did the same thing with the judge. Remember the Louisiana judge? He did the same thing. Yeah, she called a black teen the hard R. That doesn't necessarily mean it's indicative of her being racist. I'm sorry, what? And then also given the context that she tried explaining away, saying it was media and other black people's fault because they're saying, well, you use the word, which we don't. I'm sorry, what? Why? But these are the same people who will lose their mind over words like Karen or cracker, which are not racial slurs. Oh, God. Yeah. I'm just saying it's one direction, bro. I don't see these benefits of the doubts going to any other groups, right? Like with Stop Asian Hate, and they'll be like, well, look at these black people attacking Asian people. And it'll show like some drugged out, clearly mentally deranged black dude fucking strung out on something, most likely fentanyl, like just randomly attacking Asian person. No evidence of racial motive. And then they'll go, that's clear racism, blatant, cut and dry, end of story. There's no mental health talk there. That's gone, right? It disappears then. Then it's be like, wow, addiction. There's real issues with addiction, fucking with people and making people get violent. No, it's just, it's racially motivated. This is just black people. This is what they do. Weird how that benefit of the doubt fucking disappears depending on the group. She's the definition of racist, and she is working within the system, especially one that has the ability to do violence. Yeah. What is anti-black racism? I don't know. Like, I'm dead ass. I don't even know anymore. Right? Like when we had Buffalo, I did the video on it. We had fucking Buffalo happen, and Tucker Carlson refused to call him a white supremacist. I'm like, the dude is screaming, I am a white supremacist, and then goes out and kills black people. Tucker Carlson won't call him that. Yeah, if you could go look at my video later if you want, where I went over that, where I was like, I don't know what has to happen. What has to happen before these people will say, okay. There would be a second Mafa, and these people would still be like, now, are we sure we're just doing this based on race? I don't even know. I would really like, that's a good idea. I might next time if I ever go out to any kind of protest or anything. I haven't done that in a long time, but anytime I do that again, I might want to ask. I should ask some people on the right. I should find some white people on the right and ask, what do you think anti-black racism is? That would be a good question.
I think what I see here so far is that she has some anger issues that are unchecked.
Fast forward to the April 5th incident. According to the internal report, Officer Valentino acknowledged her statements weren't appropriate or how she music and hearing.
You're using certain, I think that's
and hearing people talk on the street in that report.
Nah, I think that's that's definitely a cop out because.
Okay, thank you. At least he admits that one.
You know, you're using certain words in anger. You know what you're doing. It's not about, oh, you hear people talk about it and, you know. They
exactly. So why did you just dismiss her as just being angry? right? Even you admit they use the words for a reason. Absolutely 100%. It's not just blind anger. There's clearly something underneath that, especially given, like I said, we saw parts of her record. She has a history of being hostile, unnecessarily hostile towards black people. 100%. So why did you just jump back to there might be something there when 2 seconds later you're like, it's just anger? Is a Witch Mafia documentary. I'd like to see that. Hey, I gotta stay away from soda. I don't want to gain fat back. Sugared bad. I won't gain fat, but I won't burn off my last few percentage of body fat I need. I still need like three more percent and I'll be good. And if I drink soda, I'll basically become static.
In that conversation, and it wasn't even about necessarily the racial slur. You said, I hate them. Who is them? You're speaking about black folks. You're speaking about black folks that just don't want to cooperate and do right. You say you hate them. It's not even about the N-word necessarily. It's not even about the N-word slipping out. It's
okay. He's correct so far.
About how you were feeling in that moment, and you were using the word to describe how you felt. It's not even about the word coming out, really. It's about you hate black folks in that particular moment because maybe you...
It's not in that particular moment. We've seen, like I said, a pattern.
You see a pattern of them doing stuff like that. Maybe you just don't like black folks in general. I don't know what it is.
Where's this nuance coming from? Where is this like, well, let's see, where is that coming from? Might be something, yeah. They love, like I said, the right props up people like him on purpose. You don't have any fat? Yes, I am at like 12.1 right now. Okay, I need to get down to like 9 or 8. Actually, no, I think I'm under 12 now. I haven't checked. It's been like 5 weeks.
I don't think there's evidence of racism from her, according to her her record over 14 years.
We just saw her record. We just saw her record. She has at least one example. And I was going, well, he's jumping back and forth. Which is it? Is she fucking racist or is she not? Because now you're jumping from this might be indicative of it. Why would you say this unless you felt this to now? Well, I mean, if we look at a record, it's like you're trying so hard to play both sides because it's like undeniable, but at the same time, he knows his audience. He knows his audience, and he's like, they want to be comforted because Republican Party moved in this direction. That's where they've been moving the past since like 2019-ish. They started becoming the party of fragile white people. I didn't want them to go to this direction. They chose to go this direction. So he knows he needs to reassure his audience, don't worry, it's all good. Don't worry about it.
You would see a lot more of that kind of stuff on her record, aside from that one lawsuit, if racism was an issue. I think the issue here is anger.
She said her job is having a negative impact on her mental health, something she's since sought help for.
Exactly. That's exactly what's going on. That job messing the mental health up. She's having a hard time dealing with the job. That's what's going on.
So now it's just having a hard time dealing with the job. So now we're back there again.
Going on. You're a 14-year veteran. Do you have any children? Are you a single mother? What's going on in your personal life? I think that'd be a good indicator of what's happening here.
Did the right ever do this with anybody who used words like, I don't know, cracker or Karen or snow roach? Did the right ever, did they do that with any of the, I don't know, like the drugged out black dudes who attacked Asian dudes? Did they ever go, well, maybe he's mentally ill, maybe he has a drug problem, maybe we got to address this in New York? Where did they ever do this? Ever? I just like how when it's, as soon as it's flipped, now all the excuses comes out. Now it could have been this, it could have been this, it could have been this. They need, it's crazy, bro. They need any plausible deniability, the smallest bit of plausible deniability, they'll latch onto it. They don't want fucking anything to just be straight up racism. And like I said, this case was mild compared to last week. Last week with the Mississippi police chief, that one was crazy. No one even talked about that. Skinny guy trying to get buff like that scene in Mean Girls. They're all criticizing themselves in the mirror. What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say I'm fragile and just bone? Why did my mouse die? Dude, every day they're trying to bring white fragility to life. They try to deny it, but then it's like you just keep giving me examples of it, and it's like, how am I supposed to deny that there's an issue with fragile white people in this country when it's like I said, you need comfort anytime. You need comfort anytime somebody says even the lightest criticism about you, but as soon as it's flipped and you'll have like blatant hatred going the other way, you need to make every excuse to make sure it's not just blatant hatred. It can be anything else but that. Snow, you've never heard that term? I've heard that term. I won't use it. I don't like that term, but to be honest, he's really making Republicans look stupid. All the black faces the Republicans prop up make them look stupid because they're propping up specific people to basically be like their comfort for white people, right? That's what they're there for. They know their audience. It's like I said, when I'm looking at all the mainstream black conservatives, right, they're all saying the same things. And when I ask, who is this targeted at? Because I don't know black conservatives that think this way. I'm like, yeah, he's targeting a narrative that's unique to white conservatives because that's the broadest audience. They want to make. They could lose viewers, right? That's what I mean. Like they could lose viewers, and viewership is money if they say any type of like criticism towards white Republicans. They'll get emotional, angry, and they won't watch or they'll unsubscribe. We don't want that. We want them to feel comfortable. Yeah. I've said this. I do think the left is smarter than the right. Not necessarily, like, they say a lot of stupid shit. Like, most politics right now is just absolutely brain dead retarded. But I do think the left, as far as moving goalposts and getting shit done, they are way smarter than the right. And since the right doesn't know how to do anything, they just start mimicking the left. And then they look really stupid because the left knows how to do what they've been doing. They've been doing it for decades. Y'all just trying to play catch up. I don't know why you're trying to fight on what's it called? On their playing field when they're going to beat you every time. But that's because they don't know what to do. So I said, I predicted this a long time ago. I said this in like 2018. I said if like Trump is gone, I feel like the right is going to fall apart. They're just like aimlessly flailing around doing all sorts of weird shit. And since they have no like structure or like any kind of leadership structure, because they used to just follow Trump, now they're just kind of like latching on to whatever they can. Now they're just doing what the left does. The only difference is the left can get results. Yeah, well, it hurts black conservatives because it puts out negative stereotypes that black conservatives are tap dancers or that black conservatives hate black people, which is not true. It's just that the white Republicans who run this place only uplift certain voices. They don't want any other right-wing voices that are pro-black. They don't want that because they know that's going to upset their base and then lose them money or lose them clicks, which will lose them money. They don't care that it harms actual black conservatives. It makes it harder for them in every single way. And this goes for black liberals too. They do the same thing to black liberals. They make all of us like any black person on the right makes us all look like we're a bunch of tap dancers, right? They're not going to platform. They're not platforming people like Sonny Johnson. They don't want her speaking anymore. They don't want to bring people on like these mainstream channels. Like they don't want to bring people on like Maj. They don't want to bring people on like Sonny Johnson. They don't want to bring people on like Marcel Dixon. They don't want them there. There's a reason for that. The right worships America and our institutions. They only go after public schools because they're heavily Democrat leaning and teachers teach, alphabet agenda. Yeah. I mean, like, we wouldn't need all these laws if they actually just had the balls to just say, you know what, I'm not going to put my kid in that school. I don't know why they don't. I already said I have no problem with the like parental rights and education bill. I was like, whatever, it's fine. I was just like, we wouldn't need it if the right wasn't fucking lazy. We used to have this thing called social enforcement where it was like, hey, you do some goofy shit. We're going to take care of it ourselves, and you're going to learn not to do that again. Marcel Dixon, he ran as a Democrat against Clyburn, and he ran on a platform of reparations. So you already know Democrats didn't like that, because Democrats will they'll lip service reparations, but if anyone gets too close to something that might result in tangibles, that's when like we don't want you. Democrats love lip service. They don't want tangibles. If anywhere gets close, they're gonna pull back immediately and be like, we got to get rid of this person. I'm curious I would love to see what the comments on here. Let's see. Wait, at least she's willing to admit it. Admit what? But yeah, she needs a break from the harsh reality we're all living in. Oh, she needs a break. Right? See, there's no indication of issues with racism in police, even though even just over the past 2 weeks, we've seen tons of instances. No. See, now it's just, she just needs a break. I wonder how this would go if it was reversed. I wonder if it was just some black cops throwing out like cracker and stuff like that at a white kid. I wonder if the right would have the same response of, I think these black cops just need a break. They're just stressed out. They're upset over everyone saying defund the police. They're upset over people saying F the police. Let me see. Oh, excuses for stress. Wait, she was upset. Big deal. Okay. I've been called the N-word to my face. Did it kill me or destroy me? No, these stories are just overblown. We've got so many issues in this country. Being called the N-word is the least of my concern. What is this like minimizing and dismissing? I'm sorry. Do you like getting called that? Does that resonate with you or something? Why does that not bother you? The fact it doesn't bother you that's kind of you don't see that as an issue? That's weird. I think you have some internalized issues to deal with. White conservatives are the most fragile beings I've ever seen in my life. I know, dude. It's the lightest criticism of, hey, why do white communities do this? And they'll screech racism at you. But then they'll turn around and say like the most vile shit back. And then if you get mad and go, what the fuck's wrong with you? They'll be like, why are you so mad? It's freedom of speech, bro. Or it's just a joke. Why are you getting upset? And then, God forbid, in a TV show, you see too many black people and they'll be like, I don't feel represented. There's too many interracial couples on TV. I don't feel represented. You get called the hard R by someone. She was mad. Or why do you just want to be a victim all the time? I don't get it. That's crazy. That's what they do. No, white conservatives value individualism. Why can they disassociate themselves from the actions of white ignorance? Yeah, they can disassociate. We can't. Right? So when we have black ignorance, that's representative of us. When we have white ignorance, that's just a subgroup. That's different. But it's not just with the black people. It's basically that only applies to black people. If you've seen that. That one only applies to black people because, like I said, when they want to bring up stuff happening over the border, okay, now it's it's the cartels and it's the coyotes and bringing things over. They don't say it's Hispanics. They don't say it's Mexicans. See, now they can differentiate, right? If it's a black gang member doing something, then it's black people. If it's a Hispanic gang member doing something, it's a Hispanic gang member. Now it's differentiated. They don't differentiate for one group of people. Would white conservatives react the same way if the victim was white? I guess they don't care. They rarely cover police when the victim is non-black. Oh, I just meant calling if they call them names. No, they don't care when white people are killed by police because I've been in this conversation with them and I've named tons of white people just murdered by police, senselessly murdered by police, and they don't know any of their names. They just know fucking Ashley Babbitt, which makes them look worse because I'm like, now it shows me you have a weird obsession with black death at the hands of police, which is weird. Right? Because I'm like, why don't you know who Ryan Whitaker is? Why don't you know who Jared Lackey is? Why don't you know who Hunter Britton is? Why don't you know these names? They don't know these names, but they know George Floyd. They know Breonna Taylor, right? They know all these ones. They can name all those. So I'm like, you have a weird obsession with black people getting killed by police, it seems. Very interesting. Right? They don't even know Hispanics or Asians. I brought up Christian Hall or Angelo Quinto. They don't know who any of those people are. And I'm like, yeah, you don't care when you're killed by police. So it just makes you look worse. I'm like, shit, black people care more about white people being killed by police than vice versa. That's crazy. I've been saying this. I brought up these cases. I actually do look at these cases. They're just like, can we race bait off of this? Can we mock it? Can we belittle it? No. Okay, moving on. I want to see a couple more of these. As the saying goes, you're a product of your environment. Yes, and her environment is other officers. So I guess you're right in a way. This lady needs a new career path. She is no longer capable of keeping stuff together. Being a cop in America is one of the hardest jobs around. No, it's not. Stop it. I've always sick of this with conservatives. I'm saying how dangerous and difficult it is to be a cop. Look, delivery drivers have a significantly higher fatality rate than police officers. Statistically, it is very unlikely to be killed as an officer. It is not even close to one of the most dangerous jobs. I think the fatality rate, I was looking at fatality rates for jobs. I think cop was like 21. It was down there. I would have to look it up again. It's been a while, but it was like 21 or 25. It was somewhere in that region. Like, I think like delivery driver was 8. It was like lumber mill was number 1. That was the most. And then I think fisherman was number 2. They only have one principle: anti-black racism and simp for billionaires who don't like them. I mean, yeah, because like I said, they don't treat other groups like that. I'm picking up the pattern. They do not treat all groups the same. They seem to have a unique disdain for black people. And I'm like, what is your issue? Like, I want to know, where is it coming from? Like, why do you hate so much? Why is it just that one? It's weird. It's weird that you have this one obsession. Tatum said police is riskier than pizza delivery. Well, the fatality rates do not agree. And my brother worked pizza delivery a long time ago, and he had to be strapped all the time because he got guns pulled on him quite a bit. So, and this was on the East Coast. But yeah, as far as fatality rates goes, that's not even close. But that's because he idolizes police. He sees the police as like gods among men. But that's just how he is. He's blindly ideological, which is why, like I said, I don't think he's a grifter. I think he's just blindly obedient to the state. He's brainwashed by the state. Oh, God. And of course, which one should we do next? Oh, I know. Did y'all see this? Because this one also wasn't talked about. So one, this guy did not get charged with a hate crime. No surprise. But where's our Stop Black Hate movement? We know that's not coming. We'll do it with every other group. Not this one. But if you've seen this video, this dude goes, yo, watch this, 50 points right there. Tries to hit these black teens on bikes with his car, and then calls them effing N-words as he's driving by. And somehow that's not attempted manslaughter or a hate crime. Okay.
A Mid-South man's viral video has landed him behind bars tonight after what he reportedly said and did sparked outrage in his community. The situation played out in Ripley, Mississippi, Tippah County. We have reviewed the video, but we are not showing this video.
You're not going to show it?
We do not own the footage. It shows a man.
I want to find the original. Hold up. Let me go find the original. Let me get the actual video. Oh, fuck you. Where's the... I thought that had the video. Oh, here it is. Okay. No, wait. Is that it? No, that's not it. Yeah, here it is. Oh, Tariq Nasheed posted it. Let me open that real quick. There we go. The ignorants are very low IQ. Why do stupid stuff like that when everyone's on camera? They're not very smart. But like I said, I'm fine with this. It makes it easy to catch them. Yeah, here. I found it. It was... This is crazy.
An affiliation with UNMC is reached. The hospital CEO has announced he'll be stepping down effective immediately. And a memo sent to employees and medical staff.
So apparently you can just apparently just do that and not get charged with a hate crime. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. These are kids. And he came at him with a fucking car, which is a deadly weapon. And again, no one's talking about this. I can't help but notice maybe if we switched up some people, we might hear about this. Like I said, the white liberals aren't talking about this either. They don't care. I'm not like trying to put the sole blame on like, oh, look, where's the right? I'm like, I know they're not going to talk about it because it doesn't serve their narrative. And then the white liberals aren't going to talk about it because they're too busy screaming about milk being racist or something. Or something else stupid like that. He was just having a bad day. I know, right? It's just an off day for him. You know, maybe, you know, he has some kind of mental health issue. You can tell by his laugh. Maybe he's got some kind of mental deficiency. You can tell by his laugh. It might not be that he was actually racist. Look, maybe he was so messed up on drugs, as you could see. He said, "Hey, look, 50 points." He thinks he's playing a game. See, that's how messed up in the head he is. So we need to study this guy, right? We should put him in a mental facility and study him. He clearly has problems. All right, it's not like he hit one. Why are you overreacting? Right? You could see him doing that. Come on. He didn't hit one. It's not like he killed one, right? You know they're going to try to bring up like Waukesha or some shit. It's Mental Health Awareness Month in Mississippi. Like I said, with Buffalo, the whole Tucker Carlson thing, I was like, the dude can scream, "This is what I am, and this is why I'm doing this," right? 180 pages saying over and over, "This is why I'm doing it." And he'll go, "I don't think he's a white supremacist. I think he's just mentally ill." I got to do that. If I see a protest, if I'm out and I got time and I see some kind of protest, I would really like to ask, like, if it's right wing, I would love to ask, what is anti-black racism? What does it look like? I do have a friend who I know has like a young Republican meeting, and I was like, I would love to go to that and just start asking questions. I would love to ask that question there because I would love to see what they say. Where is it said? I forget what is actually. There we go. They also say more charges could come in the future. May. But originally, no. No hate crime, no attempted voluntary manslaughter, I think is that what it's called? I forget what it's called. None of that. You know what? Let's contrast this with something funny. I'd love to see this. Let's contrast this shit with something funny. Look at this. Apparently, none of that other stuff I showed you is worth posting, including the stuff from last week. But this is worth getting upset about. Apparently, people are upset at this. I saw people on the right getting upset over this. Okay, to be fair, Snow Bunny and Cracker are not racial slurs. They do refer to white people, but they're not racial slurs.
Leech Demon, Snow Roach, La Llorona. Keep it going. Discharge Demon, Yeast Yeti, and Glatum.
So wait, I have a question. So how do we know like these people aren't just having a bad day? Like, do you think like maybe possibly there was some white person who maybe, I don't know, spit in their cereal this morning and they're just upset? Did you ever consider that? I don't think anyone considered that.
No purpose flour, expired cheese, chalk chihuahua,
Christopher Columbus, ranch pudding, unscented candle.
Sorry, unscented candle. What the fuck? Unscented candle got me. What does the caption say? TikTokers are openly racist towards white people. I didn't know Christopher Columbus was a racial slur. But look, let me see. Oh God, I hate this. I hate this kind of stuff. There's that selective color blindness. Still don't like to hit that hard R though. There we go. I mean, if y'all want to dismiss, ranch pudding, if y'all want to dismiss and make excuses, I don't see how this is a problem because you don't know any of their story. You don't know if any of them could be having a bad day. You don't know who hurt them. You don't know who did what to them. They're probably upset. These people could be mentally ill for all we know. We know the left has a high rates of mental illness. So how do we not know these people are not mentally ill? Right? And look, we even had white faces in there. Now, can it be racist if it's a white face saying it? Come on now. You guys know that. How can it be racist when there's white people doing it too? We all know this. Isn't this how it works? At least to my understanding, that's how it works, right? At least some people admitting these are funny. I heard one that was called Enemy of the Sun. I would kill to be called that in public. Why? What are you going to do? I love those people who say that. They're not going to do anything. I'm just like, I love how now we can platform and go, look at the anti-white racism, like off something like this, but then we'll have all this other shit. And then what is it? Excuses. But God forbid someone say snow bunny, which isn't even a racial slur. If you actually know what that means. Because let's be honest, who doesn't like snow bunnies? For those who knows what that means, they know what that means. Where'd it go? I have so many tabs open. Where is it? So did you all see this one? I saw this one going around. The Geeks and Gamers one.
Alex,
did y'all see this with Alex Stein and fucking Ryan Kinnell, Geeks and Gamers? You know, the same Ryan Kinnell that was complaining about how in his movies there were too many good black people and that bothered him. Does anyone remember when he did that review? Right? See, it's not. We love our snow bunnies here. We love them. Are you a tab whore? Bro, on my phone, I have tabs going back like 6 months. I have like giant, I have these huge articles that I'm like, I'm going to read these eventually. And then the tabs open for like 6 months. And I'm like, I'm going to get to it eventually. And then I never do. Stop texting me in the middle of right now. I'm busy. Okay. But I don't know if you saw this, but of course, this was going around. And here we go. And what do we get? More splaining.
Alex, come here. They have a memorial to George Floyd.
Oh my gosh! George Floyd Memorial Live.
Look at that. They got a Derek Chauvin George Floyd Memorial.
Dude, that's insane. Jebediah Springfield live.
Now, let's be honest. Where's the excuses? No snow bunnies. Why not? What's wrong with that? Now, where are the jokes about Ashley Babbitt? Have we seen any of those? Have we seen any of those calling her, I don't know, a fucking dumbass because she should have known better to not do that? And she got herself fucking popped. And then I didn't see any jokes about her. But they'll go out and do this. And then this is who they platform. They'll platform people like this. I know, it wasn't fucking funny. That's the dumb part. Crowder did a similar thing, but Crowder didn't even wait. Crowder did it like right after. But then these are the same people when they get checked in the street for saying some stupid shit like that, they're gonna scream my free speech. Right? Like, at least I give you the benefit of the doubt if you actually made fun of idiots like Ashley Babbitt. But you don't. It seems to always go one way. And so you're going to platform people that say this, and then you're going to say, why don't we vote for you? Gee, I have no fucking clue. They'll openly say stuff like this. They'll openly say stuff like this and then go, they must be brainwashed by Democrats. They're fucking dumb why they don't vote for us. They don't know what's good for them. Then they'll call you a hard R and be like, okay, I'm not going to vote for you. Shapiro will sign them soon. Isn't I forget who. Isn't Alex Stein already signed by somebody? I forget who, because I really don't care what he has to I don't really care what he has to say. Same with DeSantis calling Elon African American. Yeah, that was disrespectful. I said if he actually had black support in Florida and he was actually doing stuff there, I would have found that joke funny. But the fact he's been outwardly vitriolic and actually just toxic towards black people and then saying something like that, that wasn't funny. That was disrespectful. Right? You want to go around trying to ban history. Again, look at your CRT bill. It doesn't ban CRT. That's not what it says. That's what the right said it said. But then I read it and it said it was banning topics that would make certain kids uncomfortable. Any sort of historical topic that would make certain kids uncomfortable. And I'm like, wow, who is that for? And what subjects do they would these kids not like? What about that Elon Musk thing, or was something else? I actually supported Alex Stein trolling AOC, but his jokes below the belt too rude for me. I didn't find it that funny. I was like, isn't she already saying they're obsessed with me and they just want to sexualize me? So why give her what she wants? I don't understand why you just want to give her what she wants. I didn't think it was that funny. I was just like, eh. I was like, you just look like an idiot. But I'm like, how are you going to openly say stuff like this? And okay, I'm just saying, when you get the backlash, don't scream, it was just a joke, bro. Because they love pulling that one. When you check them on when they say stupid shit and you check them, they love pulling that. It was just a joke, bro. They didn't care that learning about slavery makes black kids uncomfortable. No. I remember when I had to learn some stuff and I had to see pictures. I can't unsee those pictures. Those pictures were fucking brutal. But then again, I'm not surprised a clown who's complaining, right? I'm not surprised a clown like this who complains about there's too many good black people in my movie and that bothers me to then go say some stupid shit like that. And then, like I said, when they get the backlash, they're going to just say, it's a joke, but my free speech, but all this other shit. And it's like, okay, dude. I would be careful what you say out in public. Because the wrong one might hear you, and you might get yourself popped. I don't know why you think you can always get away with just kind of like saying that stuff and not eventually getting checked. This one was also funny. Oh my God, this is hardcore white fragility. You want to see white fragility? This is what it looks like. The American right is a bunch of reactionaries with no... I know. I hate when they go, thanks for being a free thinker. It's good to see you're a free thinker. The mainstream right are not free thinkers. They are some of the most brain-dead NPCs I've ever met that just know how to repeat the same few fucking things. And then as soon as you ask them some questions, you realize they have no clue what they're talking about. And they're just like, I heard Con Inc. say this, therefore true. And then you just go, really, how so? And they just freeze. Or you just go, why? I always said there's for the left, just ask how, and then for the right, ask why. That's where they always get frozen. That's where you can find out who doesn't know what they're talking about. Did you see Marjorie Taylor Greene selling? She sold merch on it. I remember saying that stuff, but she's selling merch on it now. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I know. They're very careful about where they say it. Because they'll scream and cry when someone checks them, pops them in the face for saying some stupid shit. I'm like, I thought y'all looked up to the founders. You know what happened when someone disrespected the founders? They shot each other. That's what happened when they did that. They didn't deck each other. They went to the flintlocks and they just shot each other. You guys can't even handle words. But this was funny, dude. He is straight up. He straight up. I'm gonna show you this. He straight up is lying about Sesame, the whole Sesame place. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the whole thing, but essentially, you know, you saw the kid get snuffed. The kid gets snuffed by that one character. Got snuffed from the hug, even though you can see them later or right before that high-fiving a white kid and then skipping over the black kids and then trying to say, oh, we can't hug people. And then another video comes out 2 seconds later of them going right next to the black kids and hugging a white kid. And then there was videos. I think there was so far 4. There was 3 of this one character, but there was 4 total so far that I found of them snubbing black kids. And they're trying to pull everything out to make sure. No, it couldn't have been this. It must have been they missed them. Oh, look, it's a mostly black area. Or that tribe is probably a black person in the suit. And I saw Sesame is settling right now. Originally, all the mom wanted was like an apology and then like the employee to be fired. I said snubbed. That's what I said. I didn't say snuffed. If I did, then the mic made it sound weird because I didn't say that.
Let's talk about racism in this here United States. We can talk about it because there's a story that has captured the top of the news, and that is that apparently, supposedly, a mascot at Sesame Place is racist. I continue to fail to see how the tape that we have been shown is racist, but here is the story. Apparently, a video shared by a person named Jody on social media shows her 2 daughters excitedly greeting characters as they parade through the popular theme park in Philadelphia. Now, again, Philadelphia is a largely minority city. So the idea that...
What does that have to do with anything? Why do they always go for that for their shield? Oh, wait, are they set? No. It wasn't 250. I thought it was... There was like a class action. It was like a class action for 20... I think it might have been 25. No, come on. We don't. You don't gotta go like that. You don't gotta go that hard. I was just like, I don't know why this. What's this heavily minority city have to do with anything? It's just like, oh look, it's a mostly black area. Okay. But these, like I said, these are the same people that will say white liberals hate white people. They'll jump back to that in 2 seconds because they're playing dumb. Like, he knows this. He understands this concept. All of Con Inc. understands this concept of self-hatred. They just don't want to see it when it's black people. That's when they try to pull up and be like, this doesn't make any sense. How can there be a black person that doesn't like black people? And then the funny thing is we don't even know who the person is in there. So we don't even know what they look like. So why would you assume they're a black person?
That Sesame Place is racist. That would be a bizarre place to put like a racist theme park. It's like right around Philadelphia.
They didn't say it was. No one said it was a racist theme park. People were saying that there was, well, at least 2 characters, but at least this character, this individual seems to have an issue with black kids, and Sesame Place seems to be protecting this dude for some reason, like crazy. So I don't like, why does he think, okay, so in Ben's view, which he's being stupid on purpose, he's playing dumb. He's sitting there thinking, let's build our theme park structured on racism and put it in a black area. Like there's some dude twiddling his mustache. He's like, or twirling his mustache, sitting there like, you know, this will get them Negroes, right? Like, like what? Notice how he took like the most exaggerated caricature of what happened as he possibly could.
Strange place to put a racist theme park. When the 2 girls see the character of Rosita walking by, they step forward for a hug or a high five. And then the mascot appears not to see them and then walks past them. This turned into a national.
It didn't appear like they didn't see them, because if you watch the video, he immediately, or the character immediately high fives a little white kid, and then immediately hugs. In the second video that most conservatives didn't show because it kind of blew up their whole narrative, it shows immediately fucking goes and hugs a little white kid right next to him. So why did he just add that in? He added that in with no evidence that they didn't see him. And also, then who are they pointing no to? If he didn't see the black kids, who are they doing this to? The fucking air? Like, what are this doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, notice he's just twisting this story and trying to make it into the most like absurd thing possible, even though it's like he's giving all these benefits of the doubt to the person with no evidence. You doing the Tariq Nasheed voice? I read that in his voice. I'm not like, it's this thing. I don't fucking like hate Ben. That's the thing. Usually I'm like, he's pretty inoffensive most of the time. But this one I was just like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Like, come on, you're a lawyer. At least lie about the situation better than this.
News story, because the two little girls are black. And we can't just attribute this action by the person inside the mascot to the fact that it seems rather uncomfortable to be inside the mascot. I don't know what the visibility is like because I've not worn a giant Sesame Street head.
Okay, then why didn't you ask somebody who's done that? Because I've asked somebody and a lot of people said the eyes are in the neck so you can see down. So you can see the kids. At least that's what I've been told. You could have just asked somebody, but I don't know where all these questions are coming from now.
But it does not appear that this is a perfect example of brutal systemic American racism. But the mom posted.
Nobody said systemic racism. Okay, so he added in something else that someone didn't say.
On Instagram, quote, "I'm going to keep posting this because this had me hot. We were on our way out of Sesame Place and the kids wanted to stop to see the characters. This disgusting person blatantly told our kids no, then proceeded to hug the little white girl next to us. Then when I went to complain about it, they kept looking at me like I'm crazy." Well, I mean, I asked the lady who the...
What do you mean? That's totally valid. She has a video. She has a video of them doing it. Of course they're going to look at her like they're fucking crazy because they're the ones shielding this person. Because they're probably, most likely, sympathetic. As we've seen a pattern of behavior, at least with this specific character, because like I said, there's at least 3 videos out there of them snubbing black kids.
Character was, and I wanted to see a supervisor. She told me she didn't know. I'll never step foot in Sesame Place ever again. Please feel free to repost this. Please feel free. It feels like you kind of want the attention. Okay, now this woman's name, it turns out, was Jody Brown.
You just took the Tatum approach. It sounds like you just want attention. Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't hear that with anybody else. I don't hear that coming from any whenever the groups are switched. I don't hear that. You just want attention. He thinks it's funny. I will give him his Chris Matthews impression is fucking hilarious. I'll give him that. The only reason I was sad when Chris Matthews got fired is because I was like, oh, Ben can't do Chris Matthews' voice anymore. That was it. Outside of that, no.
And she then decided that she might sue Sesame Place over this incident, for which there is no verified actual racism. Here she was explaining.
There is a mountain of evidence, but okay.
There's several different demands.
Right there. High fives the white kid right over here. So you can clearly see short
that we made. Number one, we called for the immediate termination of that.
And then you can't see there's another angle. Another angle came out where it shows the other side. And you can see the character immediately go hug the white kid to their left.
Individual. There's no room. There has to be a no tolerance policy in our country when it comes to racism. We've also asked for an authentic and genuine apology. What we see is the company just responding when they're almost compelled to, when it's damage control. So again, we have to have...
Yeah, basically, that's exactly right.
the company take more of a proactive step, and they need to do right by these children. I mean, these children have suffered immense harm as a result of it. I mean, they will forever be known as the children who were dismissed or rejected by a Sesame Street character.
Now, that's hyperbolic, but I will say the kids probably felt like shit. The kids probably didn't feel good.
They need to be compensated and need to have therapy allotted for them and so forth. So again, we can't just let this go by without any substantial changes.
If the theme park does not do those things, are you contemplating a lawsuit?
Oh, of course. We've said from the very beginning that all options will always remain on the table. I mean, we don't want to have these two children engaged in litigation, but if that's what we need to do to effectuate change in this country, that's what we have to do.
Oh, there's so much civil rights in here. That's B. Ivory Lamar, who is the lawyer for the mom. They've suffered immense harm. Have they? It seems like the harm that they suffered was mostly because mom decided to post the video and turn this into a racial issue without any actual evidence that it wasn't just a guy in a giant character suit who didn't see the kids properly.
She did have evidence, and you could do one quick Google search to find it. That's the crazy part, but he knows this.
And was addressing people behind them. That's what it actually looks like. Not that he's saying no to the kids, that the person inside the character suit is saying no to people who are standing behind the kids.
They're pointing right at them. Their arm goes downwards. What are you talking about?
Pretend that this is true racism. The Congressional Black Caucus is now requesting a meeting with the president and general manager of Sesame Place.
Yeah, the Congressional Black Caucus are a bunch of showmen. They don't do anything. They're a fucking joke. They're basically there for white liberals. That's essentially what they serve. They don't fucking do anything. They don't care.
The Congressional Black Caucus, Congress. We must have investigative hearings like January 6th, what happened over here. Since the video made its way across social media, Sesame Place released a statement saying the performer didn't ignore the kids on purpose, and the nose gesture seen in the footage was not to the children specifically. They called the incident unacceptable. Never do that. Never do that. Just say, that's not what happened.
Why would they have to say that, though?
We understand why you would see it that way, but you're wrong.
But they have stuff contradicting that. Ben should just keep quiet on racial issues instead of commenting with ignorance. Okay, first of all, who is texting me in the middle of right now? Or calling me in the middle of right now? Yeah, because whenever I see Con Inc. want to do something on racial issues, I'm always like, oh, this is going to be bad, isn't it? You know it's going to be bad.
Instead, they quasi-apologize, and that's the worst thing you can do. Now the CBC wants an audience with the Sesame Place Park president and general manager to discuss. And then the CBC says, quote, over the past week, we've seen multiple glaring examples of racism coming from the park, including that viral video. Okay, so where are the other examples?
One Google search will pull up the videos. Like I said, dude's a lawyer. Dude has a research team. You know they know this. You know they're leaving it out on purpose. They don't want to show the evidence that contradicts this. They just want to be like, where is it? I don't see it. Because he knows his audience is not going to look it up. His audience isn't going to do any sort of investigation. They're just going to hear what he says and goes, well, I believe it. That's true. So then watch, when you actually talk to somebody like this who goes, where's the evidence? You can just pull up your phone and be like, right here. And then they don't know what to say. Because they're like NPCs who just repeat whatever they hear. It's the same fucking thing on the left and the right. They're just like, who are our media figures? Who are our media gods? Just say what they say. Wouldn't it be better to actually look at those videos and show them to just, I don't know where they are, just play dumb? Why does the right always love to play dumb? Why is that their favorite tactic, is play dumb? That's all they fucking do, bro. It's just all the time. Play dumb. The left's equally annoying. They just like semantic games. They're just always like giving vague definitions of things so they can always wiggle and move and not answer any questions. And then the right just likes to play dumb. Like, I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't see any evidence. Where is it?
Where are the other examples? She said, I thought it was excuses, the mom. She said, I also thought it was very disrespectful, like they were trying to brush me off. Well, I mean, they were trying to brush you off because you seem like kind of a crazy person, frankly.
She's the crazy person. Okay. Right? But the cop that uses the hard R isn't necessarily a racist. Okay.
Like this is the big. Have you never been to a theme park where your kids have tried to get the attention of one of the characters and haven't gotten it? We used to go to Disneyland all the time. The characters are trying to like interact with hundreds of people at one time. Sometimes kids get missed. Is that because of race?
They looked right at them and said no. They didn't get missed. What is this? What video are you watching? They literally look right at them and say no. And where did he get this? They were just missed. Even Sesame Place didn't say that. Where did he get this from? He just pulled this out of nowhere.
Racism, but apparently this is a brutal instance of racism.
No one said brutal instance of racism. I like how he's trying to like hype it up to make it hyperbolic so he can just tear it down. Like, see, we're being like, it's black people being like oversensitive or right, blowing everything out of proportion. It's like no one said this was some brutal instance of racism. We're just like, hey, what the fuck? And then you get attacked for saying what the fuck.
Brutal. And this is why, by the way, it's very important also that we had Benjamin Crump, one of the great racial grifters of our time, sign in. Benjamin Crump is the lawyer who arrives anytime a black person gets shot by a cop who is not a black cop. Benjamin Crump shows up and claims that it's unjustified and unjustifiable, despite the fact that in at least half of the cases that is not true. I would say significantly more than half of the cases that's not true. So Benjamin Crump showed up as well to talk about this. He went to a protest, and here is what Benjamin Crump had to say.
You saw the video. You look in their eyes when Rosette just ignores them as if they are.
I can't fucking stand Ben Crump, dude. He's freaking annoying.
Visible. And it's such a difficult thing for Miss Brown and her family to have to explain to her 6-year-old daughter and 6-year-old niece about racism. It's not fair.
I mean, credit to Benjamin Crump for being able to
What was that noise?
manage the same sort of gravity that he uses when people are actually shot for this. That is kind of impressive. Okay, so we have now learned that if a theme park character mistakenly does not take a picture with a couple of black kids, it's definitely because of racism.
He keeps adding mistakenly in there. No one, even Sesame Place, didn't say that. He just made that mistakenly. He just adds that in there. No one ever said that. Man, that's fucking slimy. That's slimy, bro.
But for sure, what's not because of racism is this piece from Damon Young, a contributing columnist for the Washington Post.
And here comes the fragility, right? We got to compare it.
And this is literally in the Washington Post. Here is the title of the piece. You ready? Someone gave our daughter a white doll. How do we disappear it? Not racist. Not racist at all. Quote.
What does this have to do with Sesame Place? What does this have to do with that? What one individual family does, and they got to run to, and they got to run to. Well, look at this other thing. Look at this anti-white race. Like, what does this have to do with Sesame Place? You're just trying to be like, no. We're the actual victims. What happened to don't be a victim? What happened to the don't be a victor, not a victim? Stop trying to pretend like conservatives do not like the oppression Olympics, because oh my God, they do. They love that so much. I think white conservatives need to. They don't want to. Well, I mean, this is profitable for them, which is why they're choosing these battles. She about to get paid, hopefully. I mean, they dug the hole deeper. They could have just issued the apology and fired the dude, but they didn't want to do it. They wanted to keep doubling and tripling down and then offer contradictory excuses. But let's see this brutal racism from one individual family in their own home.
Oh, We still don't know how it got into our house. Maybe it was a present from my mother-in-law. She regularly sneaks toys and snacks to our kids like they're prisoners and Cheetos them phone card minutes. Maybe it was borrowed from a classmate, or maybe it conjured itself into existence through alchemy and spells. Either way, 2 months ago, when my wife and I noticed our 6-year-old daughter was playing with a white baby doll with long blonde hair, our immediate thought was, wait, where did that come from? And then after watching her dote on it for 2 days, our thoughts shifted. So how do we get rid of it? What? My wife and I don't see eye to eye on everything, says this columnist. That would be boring and weird. She loves dancing in public. I love dancing in my chair while eating food by myself. Few things matter to us, however, more than our daughter loving her features, her hair, and her skin as much as we do. She's perceptive enough already to see and feel, even if she can't quite articulate it yet, how white beauty is considered the standard here in America. A status reinforced when she notices monochromatic magazine covers at a bookstore or watches advertisements during her favorite cartoons.
Is that wrong, though? Is any of that wrong, though? Do we not have a certain beauty standard we try to uphold when it comes to light skin? And this even goes on in black areas, because I've been told that. I've been told you were blessed, you got light skin. Right? I've gotten that before. Which was weird, because I got that as a kid. That confused me at the time until I had to have that explained to me. But I'm like, is it wrong that we push a certain standard when it comes to beauty and we kind of look at others like, not so much? So what we have here is dismissing Sesame Place with a ton of evidence to then jump on the white victimhood narrative about one individual family who wants to make sure their daughter doesn't grow up thinking Eurocentric beauty standards are the standard. Oh no. The systemic anti-white racism. Oh no.
First of all, have you not been to a bookstore in like 30 years? Seriously, like look at the magazine covers. Those are very diverse magazine covers. Are you talking about like who's in commercials these days? It's not monochromatic white people. It really is not. But, says this columnist,
until like 5 seconds ago. And even then, once it even started to change, I saw the right just absolutely tears in their eyes crying about it.
We've always been intentional buying her dolls and toys of color. Black is always the preference, but we've made exceptions, like Moana. White dolls, though, we haven't officially banned them. There's no sign on our stoop saying no dogs or Malibu Barbies. But if we're at a store and the only dolls for sale are white, we'll be leaving dollless that night. Our rationale is simple. The physiognomy of a baby doll represents what the person buying it considers to be precious, and a decision to gift a white doll to our daughter, who is already aware of the ceaseless cultural proselytization of Eurocentric beauty, could communicate to her that we value those features more than hers. So then the rest of the article is about how they are going to get rid.
Okay. And how did we go from Sesame Place to this? Bro, this is crazy.
Of this doll that their daughter actually likes. They have to dump the doll. Very, very important. They say, our anxiety about her preferring Daisy over her black dolls seemed for naught. What probably happened is what always happens with my daughter's toys. She got bored with it and started playing with something else. Or maybe one of us took the initiative and followed through with the disappearing. Maybe Daisy is in the Monongahela River, floating past McKeesport, Pennsylvania. I guess I could ask my wife if she did that. I guess she could just ask me. But if neither of us ask, neither of us will know the truth. And if neither of us knows the truth, neither of us would have to perjure ourselves at a tribunal. Okay, I question whether a piece about a white family saying we took a black Barbie and we threw her in the river because we didn't want our daughter playing with black dolls was to believe that black dolls were beautiful. How that would...
They didn't say white people... They didn't say white people were not beautiful. They said they don't want their daughter growing up seeing the Eurocentric standard of beauty as the only standard of beauty so she doesn't hurt her self-image. That's what they said. They didn't say white people are ugly. They never said that. Where did he get that from? What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, I like how he's not laughing about this story, even though this story is just as like, who cares, right? It's like one family. It's like, okay, so some family just was trying to make sure their daughter make sure they view themselves, their features, as attractive. Okay, and this is what bothers you so much? right? But then when you get called the hard R by people in power, they want you to shut up and get over it. I don't get with these people, man. The right is fucked. They are royally fucked. Holy shit, bro. What is up with them? Yeah, that was it. They are fucking out of control. Wait, which one is this one? Oh, this is the other one. Where did it go? Oh, right. I didn't watch Sing's video. I was meant to watch it. You sent it to me when I was at the gym, so I missed it. Or I didn't get a chance to watch it, I mean. I still got to watch that one. And then there was... What's it called? Oh, this one was funny. Where is it? The right's up in arms again over this. This is fucking stupid. I like how there was all this other garbage in this lesson, but they pulled this one out. This one was funny. Okay, St. Andrew's. How do you say that? Episcopal School? I'm gonna just say SAS because I can't read. I'm dyslexic. A posh private school in Austin, Texas has faced backlash from parents over a lesson plan for kindergartners that teach CRT and other woke ideas. Okay, I'd love to see what they mean. Okay. Parents are still struggling to maintain authority over what's being taught to their children. Parents who spoke to Libs of TikTok after they were sent a photo of the lesson plan taught to 5-year-olds about the horrors of white people. I would love to see what that means. Whites make it harder for black people, read one line. White boss POC around? Okay. I see what you mean. Stop texting me in the middle of right now. Okay. Right? Children were also taught New York has more freedom to vote than Texas. Keep in mind, these children live in Texas. So let's see the photo. That's so offensive. Let's keep talking about freedom. Are there some people that have more freedom? I mean, in the US, I think even the right would agree with that statement. I'm pretty sure y'all would agree with that statement. New York has more freedom to vote than Texas. Now, that's bullshit. The Dems pull the smoke and mirrors on that one. They say you have more freedom to vote in New York, but they don't tell you is they want you to have the freedom to vote for them. Because as soon as anyone challenges the Democratic Party in New York, they change the rules. They want as many people to vote as possible, as long as you vote for them. That's why they fucked over Larry Sharp using COVID emergency provisions. If you all know about that, because Larry Sharp's the libertarian in New York who was going to qualify to be on the ballot in New York with 25,000 votes, but then they used COVID emergency measures to change it to 95,000 for no reason. No reason, just happened to put that there. It's like weird. Why would you need that all of a sudden when somebody is up and coming and challenging you? It's like, yeah, you want the freedom to vote for us. Anything else? Nah, not so much. Let's see. Black people have less and white people have more. Is that false? Is that a false statement? If we're looking at statistically, All right. Money means more freedom. Yes, that is true. Very, very true. Okay, so far I don't see what's wrong. Whites make it harder for black people. Now that's the line I don't like. Then I understand. Okay, I get what is being said. I don't like how that's phrased. I think that's phrased like shit. So if you want to be like, this is who is in control of the institutions that make it harder for change that certain groups will ask for, absolutely. But when you phrase it like that, that's what I don't like. That's that sort of it's 100% us versus them, and I'm like, no, I don't like that, because then you get hostile towards like normal white people who didn't do anything. I don't like breeding that type of hostility. Doesn't help anybody. Which is why I'm not like 100% with teaching kids like on this level about this kind of stuff, because it's kind of like that's confusing to kind of explain when you're at that level. But this is like I said, the libs, they're not very smart. They oversimplify everything. So they make it's white people making it hard for black people. Well, white people are the ones in the positions of power that are controlling this. But I don't like that phrasing, because that can include all white people, and I don't think that's a good way to phrase it, because that's going to cause unnecessary tension. So that one's technically the truth. Whites boss POC around. Threatening body language. I don't know what they mean by threatening body language. If you mean boss POC around, I mean, is it wrong with all the stories we just look at and we get told, get over it, or why are you so sensitive, right? I mean, we hear that every single time something like this happens. It's like, but again, I don't like how that one's too, it's too open-ended for my liking. Disabled people could get hurt. Ramps cannot enter buildings. You have to fight in a war. Did someone stroke out right there? So no, 7. You have to fight in a war. Who has to fight in a war? And P.S. Tomorrow's pajama day. Fuck yeah, pajama day. You get to wear your onesie. I'm bringing my onesie. Yeah. But this is why I don't like, depending on the age of the kids, I don't like necessarily, I think that's too complicated. I'm like, you kind of got to break it down, make it simpler. I don't like this black versus white necessarily, because I think that's not a good way to explain it. You have to kind of break down who's in control of the systems of power. If you want to say it's white people historically, yes, that's technically true. But we can't make it like, that's why I don't like when the libs, to make it simpler, say, you white kid, by virtue of existing, you're part of the problem. I never liked that. I always thought that was a bad idea to go that route, because I'm like, yeah, you're going to create hostility and backlash. You kind of have to explain the history behind these things before you can't just jump straight to that. You could say, hey, some of these systems that were put in place benefit you just by inherently looking a certain way, and then you make that's fair. But you also don't teach them that you should hate yourself because of that. Because, I mean, although they don't, that's the straw man the rights. And sometimes you'll see some libs saying that they should hate themselves for that. And I'm like, no, it's just a matter of just acknowledging it, that this is what happens. It doesn't mean you have to hate yourself or feel guilty or anything like that. But you should actually, I mean, like, people should, at least when they say, like, put in effort to listen to people, I mean, that genuinely would be better advice. Problem is, nobody wants to listen. Everyone just wants to push their stupid dogma, their stupid political dogma. And it's just toxic as hell. But at least they get pajama day, so you get the onesie. Oh, and then they did more alphabet stuff for kids. Oh, this is clearly a white school because that's white culture. This alphabet kid stuff, that's white culture. That's an issue with them. Let's see. Oh, I lost the link. Oh, I can't do it. I lost the link on that one. That would have been funny. I'd have to do it again some other time then. I'd have to find the link. Stop that. I think that was everything I had. Did it? Let me look one more time. I got to get a panel going one of these days. I got to set that up. So did that one. When did that one? Did that one. Did that one. Did that one. Yeah. So if anybody else has anything, because I also want to start doing that, taking up stuff other people send. What is this? Oh, this is. Oh, wait. These are stock charts. No. This isn't my list of news links. So yeah, if anybody else has anything, let me know. If not, I'm gonna get food. Get food or maybe do gaming. I kind of want to do that again. Took a break because I've been busy, but I actually have some time now to do other stuff. Second. Stupid mouse. All right, so I guess that's everything. I am going to go get food and take care of some business. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I might hop on again later to shoot the shit, but if not, have a good one. Don't get shot.